Mark, hit us with your recap of this issue.
We open at the Ravencroft Institute for the Criminally Insane. Dinner is being served to such luminaries as Hippo and Mr. Hyde, except Mr. Hyde isn't in the Roger Stern era, so he would like to be called his alter ego, Calvin Zabo. When the nurse doesn't oblige, he threatens to tear her in half and make stew from the meat. And now somewhere the spirit of Carl Weathers is talking about making a stew. With a wink and a nod, the nurse says that no one is in Ravencroft that doesn't belong, just as Spider-Man is wall crawling above her. Oh, the irony. In fact, the nurse is going to visit Anna Watson next, and boy is Anna in a terrible mood, saying many variants of the word priss before saying the nurse is wearing the ugliest doily she's ever seen. Hold my pearls, Dan. We're reminded that Anna took Krakoan medicine that was tainted, and as soon as there's a cure, she'll be the first to know. Right on cue, Spider-Man is here to deliver that cure. Anna is resistant, but Spider-Man convinces her it's what will best treat KSD, Krakoan Derangement Syndrome, for those of you not in Nick Lowe's brain. Anna goes from ragey to earnest and scared, and it looks like she's ready to accept before turning evil again and biting Spider-Man's hand. That leads to Spidey injecting her and Anna realizing she's been threatening to kill everyone for quite some time, and even though she doesn't actually want to, Spider-Man wants to bust her out, but Anna feels like it's her responsibility to stay, which drives Peter mad, but he gets it. Flash over to Oscorp. Remember Norman Osborn? Well, he's back, folks. Not in Pog form, just in comic form. And he's reminding us he took a few issues off because he had a business to attend to during the gang war. Hand wave, hand wave, hand wave. Norman tells Peter it's good he didn't physically break out Anna because there's not a legal team alive that could defend that. And it's good to see some legit lawyer logic finally seeping its way into the pages of a Marvel comic book. Take that, She-Hulk. Peter wants to turn in his resignation, but Norman's indignant. Peter reminds him that it was basically Norman's idea since Spider-Man business was taking over Oscorp, but Norman apologizes for being so snippy about all that. So now with the Anti-Vigilante Act off the books, Peter can go back to doing Spider-Man business, and Norman might take that old gold goblin attire out for a spin more often. Peter is so, taken aback by Norman that he gives him a nice dreamy look, and then they take a walk to the cafeteria.
Oh.
That brings us to Kurt Connors going into a clean room and seeing Doug and Kyle, and Kurt is outraged that Doug has a phone in the clean room. He doesn't care if it's in airplane mode. We get some science mumbo-jumbo that I'm sure is important, and that Dan is going to insist I spell out in my synopsis, but I don't care. We then name-check the living brain, and then see an actual giant brain, and that sure looks ominous. Over to the outskirts of Ravencroft, and Spidey is meeting up with Jackpot, when she's on her superhero duty, mind you. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is still a thing that's happening. Anyway, Jackpot is just out fighting crime like any other average superhero, and Peter's trying so dang hard to be supportive. Or maybe it's just me, the reader, trying to actually accept this is the status quo. Either way, the two change and they're over to Ravencroft, where Anna is arm in arm with a doctor, getting led around the Institute, just being so kind to everyone. Peter is acting a bit shell-shocked by the whole thing, and Anna scolds him for not having a more open mind about being nice to the criminals and murderers. MJ wants to take Anna home, and the doctors let her know that the time to do that is close. We get some awkward exposition to remind everyone that Peter and MJ were dating, but not anymore, because she likes to date cuckolds from other dimensions. And anyway, Peter's wandering eye spots the Sandman sitting alone in the cafeteria. He addresses him as William Baker, and Sandman wants to know who told him to call him that. Peter says a friend named Spider-Man, in fact, and boy, that's not a great answer. Sandman soliloquies about being made of good parts of sand and bad parts of sand before the name Spider-Man just sets him off into a rage. He turns into his sand monster self, but then the dampeners hold him off from going full psycho. MJ looks up at the ruckus and tells Peter they should leave, but before they do, Marco grabs Peter by the hand and tells him, in addition to the bad sand, someone else wants Spider-Man out as well, which brings us over to a visual of the Sinister Six, with Doc Ock leading the way. Dun dun dun!